Hi, my name is Cleopatra Borel. I'm a four-time Olympian for Trinidad and Tobago. I really feel disappointed, disheartened, concerned when I consider the violence that's been happening against women and girls and also men in Trinidad and Tobago. I think that we can do better as a society to protect those vulnerable amongst us. How do I feel personally about my own safety? I take a lot of precautionary measures, I must say. I mean, just a small antidote. There were workmen in my compound recently doing some major works, and I opened my sliding door, but I left the burglar proof locked to ensure that nothing happens. And honestly, I feel like I shouldn't have to live like that. I'm not saying that anything happened, but I took that extra step of precaution. I take extra steps. I never go anywhere at night alone. I take those measures, and I feel like we should feel free in Trinidad and Tobago as women to do as we please, and such is not the case, unfortunately. I think that there's a disregard for women, their value and their safety in this country because we haven't educated our citizens properly in terms of boundaries, in terms of what's appropriate behavior. And of course, there's trauma that we have in the past as a country, and we have not dealt with that. And so by not dealing with these internal struggles, we're going to continue to have these sort of problems manifested in our society. So we have to do the work as a collective to make life better for everyone. There's one particular situation that transpired shortly after my returning to Trinidad and Tobago to sort of live here on a more permanent basis, and whereby there was a gentleman who, for whatever reason, whenever he saw me in Port of Spain or wherever, he would kind of follow me. And I understand that he explained to me, Cleo, I like you, but I explained to him I wasn't interested. And he would, and so I stopped going into Port of Spain because I felt like I don't want to have to get into any kind of situation with this gentleman in town. And I feel like you shouldn't have to do that. I really didn't appreciate it. And I can just imagine how other women feel on a daily basis, unfortunately. I got the sense that he really did not understand boundaries. I felt as if our interaction began online, and it progressed into real life where we happened to run into each other in Port of Spain. And it just he just didn't understand that, hey, I would just like to be friends or online, just have conversations online. And it's not what I was looking for. And for whatever reason, he kept pursuing and telling me, well, this is what I like about you. I like that you're strong. I like this. And I understand that. But at the same time, I wasn't looking for any sort of relationship or anything. So for me, I felt like if he had just respected my space and my wishes, he would not have continued to pursue in such a manner, which I didn't appreciate. In terms of where sport is in Trinidad and Tobago, in terms of a disparity between the genders, I think that we're doing better than average. Um, there's a lot of challenges that all athletes have to meet. And I think that as a collective, we're moving forward. There is, of course, a preference to certain sport, men's cricket, men's football, but that's sort of a global issue. And we could see, like, for example, with the US women's soccer team, they're the best team in the world, and they're fighting to be treated equal to their men. And so I think that Trinidad and Tobago, we're slightly ahead in terms of if you're performing, you're going to get support. But I would just like to see more support to encourage more women to become athletes and to hang in there, because we have women who are interested, women who want to compete, want to participate, but we really have to support them in special and specific ways. And I believe that that starts with education for our coaches, because I have a number of coaches over the years who've come up to me and asked me, Cleo, how do you treat with this situation? Cleo, come and talk to my girls. Cleo, come and tell me how to deal with my female athletes at this time or this time, and how to address these very female issues. And so I think by doing simple education with our coaches who are very much so willing and invested in our female athletes, we can really make some strides forward. When we're talking about safety in sport for women, and I'm speaking about elite level, I'm speaking about the recreational level, and I'm speaking about women who like to engage in fitness. There are simple things that we can do to assist women in safely pursuing their, whatever their sporting endeavors might be. First will be to provide adequate, clean, and secure restroom facilities for our women. But the availability of safe facilities for women could be the difference between participating and not participating. Of course, many of our recreational areas are well lit at this time, and I must commend the different ministries, the different corporations for providing such. The final thing that I would recommend is organized group activities to support organized group sporting activities, be that through the clubs, be that through whatever you organize within your corporation, organize within your jurisdiction. Women enjoy the social aspect of sport, and I think that there's nothing wrong with that. It's something that should be encouraged, and we need to provide that space, that safe space where they can have that time for themselves. I believe that using sport as a tool to educate both genders on how we develop boundaries, how we understand each other, how can we play together, how can we communicate, how can we be successful. I think that sport can really bring that into the conversation from a very young age. From a very young age, males and females can compete together. Boys and girls can very easily compete in sports like track and field, in sports like futsal, and they get that basic understanding of this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is not so good, this is acceptable. There are so many learning opportunities that we can take advantage of through sport. And I hope that those in power, those who have the ability to do such, take on the challenge, the long term challenge of using sport as a tool to develop our society. The impact on my career as an elite athlete, I think, has been a unique one, because it was absolutely my plan to end in 2020 and to be very happy with my career. Um, it's been turbulent. There have been lots of ups and downs, but as I've said throughout my career, it's not your resources, but your resourcefulness. So just as everyone else globally is trying to be much more resourceful, I'm doing the same. I'm trying to hang in there until the Olympics hopefully come off in 2021. I'm hoping to make the standards. But I would say the best part of the pandemic for me is realizing that I'm a sportswoman and I'm never going to hang up my throwing shoes, my gym shoes. It's a part of me. Losing that for some period in the pandemic helps me realize that this is a part of me. It's something that I seriously need, not just for my physical, but for my mental health. And I will continue forever as long as God gives me the strength to keep going. In some way, I will be involved in my sport. I will be involved in health, wellness, and fitness. That's the biggest blessing that I've received from the pandemic thus far. Um, what's next for me is I'm going to continue participating in my sport because I think that that supplements what you do as a coach. For example, if I'm not weight training, how can I do weight training programs for my personal training clients? How can I do programs for my athletes? So I'm going to, of course, stay active. I'm going to work with my foundation, of course, to continue to use sport as a tool to empower the young people of Trinidad and Tobago, especially our young ladies. I'll keep working with my partners like the Nina Young Women's Program, which helps our young ladies at St. Jude's to really transition out of state care into the real world, and just continue working with my foundation to supplement what the government and what our leadership is already doing as a private citizen, stepping up and supplementing these programs to ensure that that need is met for sport engagement in our community.